Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for requesting this additional bonus tapping round that I'm going to do here with Heather. And if you listen to the show, we talked about how we're going to focus in a little bit on grief, on the loss of a pet. And I know that's probably a bit vulnerable for anybody that's working on it. And so I just want to kind of set this up for you guys. It's going to be kind of follow the leader style. So I'm going to say the things that we're going to be tapping on. Heather will repeat after me.
Okay.
And like I said in the show, specificity is important for EFT. So if you're not feeling what I'm saying, just change it to what feels more in alignment for you. And same goes for anybody at home that's doing this along with us. Feel free to personalize it with your pet's name or specific feelings and so on and so forth. But also know that EFT, if it doesn't align with you and it's not exactly what you're feeling, repeating after me isn't going to change the way that you're feeling. It's not going to make you feel this way instead. It's not going to do anything negative. So even if you say something and it's not totally what you're feeling, nothing bad is going to happen. This is the most gentle, non-traumatizing form of therapy out there. So no harm will be done in doing this. And really, we're just looking to release those negative emotions and start feeling a little bit better about something that can be really kind of heavy for you and also for your family, kids, and so on. And when you're dealing with this. So before we start, Heather, what was your dog's name?
It was Shadow.
Shadow. And
Yeah.
how long has it been since Shadow passed?
Almost 2 months now. Almost. Yeah.
And how do you feel when you think about it now?
Oh, I still feel sad because it was so sudden and he was just a great dog. I had him, he was going to be 14 soon. And he was like the dog that was super loyal and was always hanging out in my office, and he was my shadow. Right. So, yeah.
And how did your kids handle things, or how are they handling it?
So it was a rough time. Kids are so smart. So my 6-year-old just had a feeling, asked me if he was sick, came home. She just had this intuition, and they were very upset, very sad. They didn't get to say, they didn't understand that he wasn't the oldest dog. And so once we were able to bring him home, that helped a bit because we had lost a dog in the past, but they were way babies. So they didn't even remember her. So now that he's up on the mantle and we have that thing, and we said that we were going to celebrate, and we haven't done that yet because it's been a little crazy, but we want to. They still talk about it. They still, kids are resilient. So
yeah, we all are.
Yeah.
We all are. Cool. So when you think about the grief, the loss, the sadness around that, and you in 10 would be like really grief stricken and sad, and 0 would be like, I'm good, no problems. Where do you feel like you fall on that scale right now?
I'm still, pretty sad, like maybe a 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm just going to write that down for you so that we don't forget that. Like I said, recording it's important. And we're just going to follow the leader here. And you're just going to repeat after me. And we're going to go through the tapping points and see what we can do to shift this, to change perspective, maybe to release some of the negative energy and to honor shadow a bit.
Okay.
All right. Okay. We're going to tap on the side of the hand.
Yeah.
Even though I'm feeling so much grief, loss, and sadness.
Oh, I have to repeat. Okay. Can you say it one more time?
Even though I'm feeling so much grief, loss, and sadness.
Even though I'm feeling so much grief, loss, and sadness.
I love, accept, and forgive myself.
I love, accept, and forgive myself.
Even though I wish things had worked out differently.
Even though I wish things had worked out differently.
And I still feel like there's something I could have or should have done.
And there's something I could have or should have done.
I honor those feelings and accept myself anyway.
I honor those feelings and accept myself anyway.
Even though this is tremendously hard.
Even though this is tremendously hard.
Not just for me, but for my kids as well.
Not just for me, but my kids as well.
I am open to the possibility.
I'm open to the possibility
that we can begin to heal as we grieve.
That we can begin to heal as we grieve.
I'm going to go to the top of the head. This really hurts and I feel the pain so deeply.
This really hurts and I feel the pain so deeply.
I know it's natural for these feelings to happen.
I know that it's natural for these feelings to happen.
I just wish there was more I could do.
I just wish there was more I could do.
And I also want to protect myself from this pain.
And I also want to protect myself from this pain.
Sharing news like this with my kids is so hard.
Sharing news like this with my kids is so hard.
And my heart breaks knowing that I'm breaking theirs.
And my heart breaks knowing that I'm breaking theirs.
Because as the mom, I just want to protect them from everything.
Because as a mom, I just want to protect them from everything.
But I also know that the passing of pets is part of life.
I also know that the passing of pets is part of life.
And part of getting to enjoy the memories that we got to make together.
And partially because we get to enjoy the memories that we made together.
Some days it feels like the grief is going to last forever.
Some days it feels like the grief is going to last forever.
Or the pain is never going to go away.
Or the pain is never going to go away.
And other days,
I
feel guilty because I found happier thoughts.
I feel guilty because I found happier thoughts.
I choose to accept myself no matter how long it takes.
I choose to accept myself for no matter how long it takes.
And no matter how sad, happy, or up and down I feel along the way.
No matter how much I'm sad, happy, or up and down along the way.
Recognizing that there is no set time for how long I must grieve.
Recognizing that there's no set time for how long I must grieve.
And no obligation for it to linger either.
No obligation for it to linger either.
It could be a long process or it can go quickly.
It can be a long process or it can go quickly.
And either way, I'm okay.
And either way, I'm okay.
What a great opportunity to show my children how to handle these feelings.
What a great opportunity for my family to grieve these feelings.
Even when I don't feel like I'm handling it well.
Even though sometimes I don't feel like I'm handling it well.
There are beautiful ways that I can honor the spirit of my pet.
There are beautiful ways that I can honor the spirit of my pet.
And I am handling it.
And I am handling it.
And I am getting through this day by day.
And I am getting through this day by day.
Sometimes it's hard because I'm looking for my pet where they used to be.
Sometimes it's hard because I'm looking for my pet where it used to be.
Instead of where they are now.
Instead of where they are now.
And I want to accept that they have transitioned.
And I want to accept it that they have transitioned.
And meet them vibrationally in the place where they are.
Meet them vibrationally in the place that they are.
Because I know that in that place, there is no death, pain, or loss.
There is no death, pain, or loss.
Side of the finger. It may be too new or too raw.
Maybe too new or too raw.
For me to accept that fully now. But I'm open to the possibility. And that this can be more of how I start to think. And show up for myself and my kids. As we honor the memory of our beloved pet. Just tap a little bit on the back of the hand between the pinky and the ring finger. I just want you to take a nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. All right. What came up for you while we were tapping on that?
That was good. That was a lot of like verbal stuff. What was the one that it was like I'm still looking for him where he might be. That was because he was very loud dog. That
Yeah.
was, that
We
was
we do
really
that a lot energetically. We get sad and we feel lost because we haven't allowed ourselves to realize that, I mean, the energy, the being is still, I mean, you can't destroy energy. So, shadow is still there. It's just that when we look for shadow, like on a pillow on the floor or next to your desk or whatever, that's just not where shadow is anymore. Shadow's somewhere else. So when you start looking for shadow where shadow is, then you won't feel that loss because you'll know that shadow's still right there.
right.
you know it's pretty cool, but it's not always the easiest thing to wrap our heads around. You know what though, kids are really good at wrapping their heads around that. They're so much closer to their source energy and from whence they came than we are, as we've gotten so numb to all the stuff that's actually out there that we've forgotten about. And it's a lot easier for them to realize that, hey, shadow's still out there. Like, it's just a matter of finding where
Yeah. And
shadow.
they also, I've noticed too, when you use very direct words with them, and I read this before I had to talk to them about it, like using the words death and using the words dying, it helps keep it very simple and like to the point and not a lot of gray area. And it's very like life or death. And this was their first experience. And so I think then seeing him when he came home closed the loop for them, because it was like, okay, like he's not in there
Right.
really. So
The physical body has failed.
right. And so it's like, it's just, and I opened up the bag so they could see and like give them lots of visuals and just being super open with them about it. And
Yeah.
that seemed to help them a lot instead of just
Good.
lying to them or like,
Good. If you reassess your feelings of sadness and grief and loss right now, where do you feel like you are on the scale?
I actually feel better. Probably like more of like a 5, maybe.
Awesome.
I feel better.
Awesome.
Good.
That is great. A shift in the right direction. And that's essentially like when you were asking like how long a session is and things with the client. If we were starting there, then the next thing that I would do is I would ask you, well, what's left, Heather? Like, what do you still feel? And is what makes up that 5 for you still? And then from those nuggets, you figure out exactly what you're going to tap on next. And that's how you get, very quickly, really, to the root of the problem, which, like we talked about in the show, when you can get to the root, then it doesn't come back. Unlike with talk therapy or something where you talk and you feel better for a little bit, you're resolving this in a nervous system level. So once it's resolved, it's resolved.
Right.
And that really leaves you a lot more room to get free in other areas of your life, to make other progress, to just do what it is that you're here to do and feel good about doing it. So thank you for tapping with me and trying it out. I appreciate it. And thank you for being willing to do it on such a vulnerable subject. Feel free to go have a cry if you need to, or if you find yourself yawning or anything else, that's just energy releasing itself from this, blockages coming out. And definitely hydrate, because you're moving a lot of stuff in your body. So get a lot of water and just be mindful of what comes up for you during the day.
Wonderful. Thank you. This was great. It was my first time, so I'll report back.
Thank you. And for anybody else listening, feel free to share your experiences, shoot us a message or whatever. I always love to hear about that. I'm guessing you do too, Heather. And shared experiences bring us all together closer as a community. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you.